This is McCook's Mr. Bill. It's an honor to have you here. I have had the honor of being in a family that had some women that wiggled the branches through history. Absolutely. A great example was my wife's aunt. She, again, started on the farm, had nothing, went through, a small school and got the education, high school, and went and got a year's training as a secretary. That's right. And other studies as well. With that in mind, though, she got married and she went to Denver with her husband. And he promptly got drafted. And so off to the war he went in World War II. And she didn't want to just sit home, so she went out and got a job at Ward's. I said Ward's, a department store. Almost a Walmart of the day. And an Amazon as well, because they had a catalog that you could get in your own home and at your leisure look through all the products they had and order them. Absolutely, and pick them up at the store. What a wonderful gift for that time period, people thought. She worked at one of the major department stores there in Denver, a Ward's store, as a secretary, and she saw that there was a problem. And so rather than to try to climb the chain of command with her information, knowing it would probably either get lost, ignored, or even if it was successful, she wouldn't get any credit. And so what she did, she asked and got permission to talk to the store manager. She said, I want 5 minutes. And she said, that 5 minutes, she said, I just want to make you look good. To the board. The store manager was shocked to a degree, and no one, man or woman, had ever done that before. And so he said, you got 5 minutes. She said, we have a wonderful store, and sales are good and brisk, considering the war. At the same time, she said they could be a lot better. She said, within 4 blocks either direction, there are 2 factories here in Denver, employing almost 5,000 people. 5,000 people. And she said they get paid weekly. Weekly, mind you. And that check that they get, they go to the bank and cash it in. The downside is most of the banks are further away than what they are, not in our direction. So they have to get their check and then go someplace to cash it in. How much chance is it for them to come back here and spend their money as easily? What I suggest you do is start a bank. Ward's has a lot of power, a lot of money. Let them start their own bank in this store so that the people from those factories can come here very easily, cash their checks, and while they're here, they might just spend some money. It's that simple. The manager did not take a second but get on the intercom, and it happened to be a regional manager happened to be in the building, and he asked him to come up. And when he got there, he told my wife's aunt, say exactly the same thing you did to me to him. And she did. He looked at her credentials and said, when she finished, he said, how would you like to run a bank? How would you like to be the manager? And she said, of course. And he said, now you're a woman. And at that time and period, it was very difficult. And so he said, I will have to put a man in there with you as a co-manager. But he said, as far as I'm concerned, you're the top manager. And you will be paid equal with him, which was unheard of for back then. And so through the war years, she ran that bank and did an extremely good job. And they had 30 tellers at one time. 30 tellers on a given day that the banks or the factories got their checks and get them through real quick so that they could spend their money there. You bet. Intelligence. And she, after the war years, she went on to other jobs and businesses, and she retired a very wealthy woman. Absolutely. Always a lady, always, and somebody that thought outside the box and had the guts to push it. Thank you for your time.